This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.
Welcome back. The government predicts that if an increase in the national insurance contributions rates does not happen this year, the National Insurance Fund will lose $95 million. Minister of State in the Office of the Prime Minister, Miles Larota, who has responsibility for the National Insurance Board, reiterating to reporters before the weekly cabinet meeting that there has been a decision, but details will be given in due time. He says a report by NIB with recommendations highlights many deficiencies.
The National Insurance Board will pay out $27 million each month in pensions. We're collecting $23 million. That leaves a shortfall of $4 million a month. Times 12, that's $48 million. We're not even considered the industrial benefits and other benefits that are being paid out. There are statements that have been made if you go on compliance, if you go and collect the outstanding that is pegged around $30 million, if I heard that correctly. That's still only 1 month of contributions. Some of the issues as it relates to national insurance are not things that we could blame anybody for. Can we blame our citizens for living longer? No. And so if they're collecting their pension benefits that could be as much as 20 years, when it was about 10 years to 12 years in the beginning, this is where we are.
The National Insurance Board has had one rate increase since its establishment 50 years ago, and that was in 2010. Minister Larota says Bahamians have been living longer since 2016 and therefore collecting more benefits.
And if we have been losing money from 2016, for the past 7 years, even those cash assets, the CDs that you had, you have to crack those. Why? Because the government cannot subsidize the National Insurance Fund. It's paid for by contribution or investments or rents that's being collected. So it sounds sexy that everybody has an opinion that one area is causing, whether it be management or whether it be administration costs. That is but a small part of it. I just gave you just simple mathematics. This month, some 44,000 people are collecting some form of pension benefits. Okay. 27 million is going to be paid out, 23 is going to be collected. You do the math, that's just on the pension end. We have a lot of people who are collecting disability benefits and others. And so that's where we are.
Minister Larota is asking for patience with the government as they continue to make decisions in the best interest of all Bahamians. The Bahamas gearing up for the 44th regular meeting of the Conference Heads of Government of the Caribbean Community and Common Markets, that's CARICOM. Leaders continuing to arrive in the country for the meeting that begins on Wednesday, with discussions taking place on a number of issues that affect Caribbean nations, including the instability in Haiti and climate crisis. Premier of the Turks and Caicos Islands, Charles Washington Mizik, arrived in Nassau on Sunday, while United States Special Presidential Envoy for Climate, John Kerry, was expected to arrive in country today. Some 40 ambassadors are anticipated to attend the meeting. CARICOM is made up of 15 members and 5 associate members. The 44th meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government will last 3 days until Friday, February 17th at the Bahama Resort. Meantime, the Royal Bahamas Police Force has announced a number of road closures and diversions as it relates to the CARICOM meetings. The Traffic Division is advising the general public that a number of roads in the downtown area will be closed on Thursday, February 16th, between 4 p.m. and 11 p.m., including parts of Frederick Street, Parliament Street, Shirley Street, and Market Street. Motorists are urged to avoid the downtown area and take alternative routes. And in this Valentine's Day feature story, the Playhouse Daycare and Babysitting Center on University Drive was not playing today, pun intended, when the preschoolers only invited fathers to lunch on this Valentine's Day. Fathers of students at the school brought their precious little ones their favorite food and sat down for lunch with them. Philip Bowe, father of Asha Bowe, spoke with Jcn's news team on why he feels honored on this special Valentine's Day.
I think for the first time for Valentine's Day, fathers are at the forefront. I think this is a first for most of us, but for me for sure, on Valentine's Day, coming to your kids, bring them lunch, letting them to see, other than their mothers, letting them see that fathers love them too. We're just as important. But this is really an honor. This is special. I mean, just looking around, all the dads here with their kids, this isn't something you see all the time. And I think it's something that all schools should do. Not just in schools, but just in our communities at large. We should focus more on being better fathers and being more present, especially on occasions, special occasions of showing love.
It is a known fact that there are many single mothers and children with no fathers in the home, and while some fathers may have not been able to make this special occasion today due to unavoidable obligations, Playhouse Daycare teacher Miss Deal says the door was also open for male relatives of the children.
This day is important to us, our children, and our fathers here at the Playhouse, because all year round mothers are acknowledged, and yes, they hold things together, but today at the Playhouse we want to show the world that our fathers, our children matters. We have uncles, we have granddaddies, we have stepbrothers. Any male figure that is available is here if there is an absent father in a child's life.
While many were taking their significant others to lunch or sending flowers and chocolates, these fathers were honored to be at the forefront of their little ones' lunchtime at the Playhouse Daycare and Babysitting Center. And finally, the University of the Bahamas men's basketball team left today for South Florida and Fort Lauderdale. They'll be playing in the Fort Lauderdale Skinner Classic. The Mingos will face competition from Fort Lauderdale University, Atlantis University, and Florida Palms University starting on Wednesday. The Mingos are coming fresh off a win in the New Providence Basketball Association from the weekend. They play at the Air Adley Gym. The Mingos took out the Rebels 87-66, led by Erquante Edgecombe with 20 points. Gabriel Stiles had 13 and Theodore Grant had 11 points. The Mingos now sit in third place in their NPBA division with a 4-5 record and are looking to keep the winning going while they are in South Florida. Meanwhile, the University of the Bahamas women's softball program is holding tryouts this weekend, looking for the next UB Mingos softball star. The softball team is fresh off a tour in South Florida and is hoping to build on that experience the team gained during the 4-game tour. The tryouts are set to start at 10 a.m. on Saturday at the Bankers Field in the Blue Hill Sporting Complex. And that'll do it for your JCN Evening News. I'm Jcn Saunders.
This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.